Three rivers meet at Ravenglass on the Cumbrian coast. The Esk flows in from the south, the Urt from the north, and the Mite from the east, to form a natural, although severely tidal, harbour. In the 2nd century, it was an important naval base for the Romans. The village itself has few facilities, other than 3 pubs or hotels, and a number of bed and breakfast establishments. There is no public road transport to Ravenglass, which is served by hourly trains along the lengthy and scenic coastal route which runs between Lancaster to the south and Carlisle to the north via the industrial town of Barrow-in-Furness. Ravenglass is the home of the 15-inch gauge Ravenglass and Eskdale Railway, built originally as a 3-foot gauge line to carry iron ore from the workings up in the hills down to the coastal railway for onward transport, and now an enormously popular tourist railway operating for some 7 months of the year, with more limited services during parts of the winter period. The coastal railway crosses the estuary on a viaduct which also carries a public footpath. For the stout of heart, the estuary is fordable at low tide, though I've never been tempted to try it for myself. In the distance we see the chimneys and structures of British nuclear fuels establishment at Sellafield, originally known as Calder Hall and later as Windscale, and far and away the biggest employer in this part of the world. It's half-term for Cumbria's schools this week, and Halloween is coming up. Today, Tuesday the 29th of October, nearby Muncaster Castle is offering a family day out with West Coast Railways, who are running a special train from Oxenholme, Penrith, Carlisle, Workington and Whitehaven to be met at Ravenglass by coaches to transport all passengers the couple of miles to the castle to enjoy a family-friendly, spooky day out. I've travelled down by an earlier Northern Service train to film both the West Coast special and to ride and film La'al Ratty for a final time in 2024. During the half-term week, La'al Ratty tries to draw the crowds by running a number of double-headed trains. Here we see Will Beck and River Mite assembling to haul the first train of the day up the valley to Dalegarth. As the 10:25 sets off, somewhat behind time, I must gather up my kit, head off out of the station and to the seashore to begin preparing for the arrival of the special. As the Muncaster Express appears in the distance, we hear the chime whistle of one of La'al Ratty's locomotives setting out on the 11:25 trip up the valley. The coastal route is single track for the 11 miles between Whitehaven and Sellafield, which can cause major problems if any train is held up in this area. However, there are no such hiccups today, and the special arrives within 3 minutes of its scheduled time. The train inevitably is much longer than the Ravenglass platform, and unloading it proves to be a slow business, involving moving it forward to allow passengers in the rear coaches access to the platform. The plan is to stable the empty stock at Sellafield, 6 miles north of here, for the afternoon. Although there is a crossover at Drigg signal box just 2 miles to the north, the train will be sent 7 miles south to Millom to cross over to the northbound line before travelling 13 miles to reach Sellafield. I'm sure it makes sense to someone. Oh, and the process will be repeated this evening. That's the Eskmeels viaduct across the River Esk ahead of us, with the Eskmeels military firing range to the right. I can't possibly travel all this way and not take a ride on La'al Ratty, so once again let's pack the kit and head back to the narrow gauge station. Where I'm taken by surprise by the special's empty stock heading to Sellafield rather earlier than expected. Then a lively run through Muncaster Mill, Miteside Halt, the old works at Murthwaite, the isolated Murthwaite Halt, and Urton Road to cross a coastbound train. The green, looking a little sad in winter. Fisher ground, with nobody camping here at this time of year. Through narrow Gilbert's Cutting, Beckfoot, and across Willenbeck to reach Journey's End at Dalegarth. Beware of the station clock at Dalegarth. Both faces show different times, both false.
Cheers. See you.
A bit of train spotting of the narrow gauge variety, a stroll into Boot Village, a bite to eat in the Fellbites Cafe, and then an unusual ride back down the valley, sharing a coach with my old friend Sid, who has been the platform assistant at Dalegarth today. And so back to the main line at Ravenglass, where the southbound platform is quiet.
These are beautiful.
Not so the northbound.
the idea as a driver tonight.
It takes a long time to get everyone on board. I know, 1 train an hour. You just couldn't make it up. As the happy families head off home, I'm for the Ratty Arms on the other platform, and a couple of pints with Sid before eventually catching a train for Carlisle and another across the border. So, for the last time from Ravenglass in 2024, thanks for watching, and here's to 2025.